Welcome back to another episode of the Bench Mob Ent podcast. We have none other. It is a NBA Threads 2024 recapping everything basketball NBA that has happened, NBA last season and the end of this season. Talking about Threads specifically, NBA Threads, some of our favorite moments for their favorite moments. Nobody watching this, when you watch this on the back end, when you listen to this, we're not gonna make no list. We've learned our lesson concerning that, so you don't have to worry about that. Before we get into it, I will introduce the people on the screen right here. We got Chris CL Smooth on the mic, smooth on the court. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. What's up, everybody?
Of course, we have none other than Live, Breathe, Ball newsletter. Some of y'all know Live, Pray, Eat, Love. He decided Live, Breathe, Ball. Doug Christie stunt double. How are you doing?
Tell him, my man. What's up? What's up, everybody else? Let's get it.
Of course, now next on my screen, we got Jared L. Spence, multimedia journalist covering the Wizards, the Mystics. But at heart, this man, his love is in New York, as you can see with the Knicks gear. Jared, how are you doing?
I'm good. How's everybody doing today?
Good, can't complain. Next up, we have, y'all know him as Dr. Thompson. He is not obviously officially a doctor, but he does have a doctorate in his love for basketball and the Clips. Doc, how are you doing?
I'm Doc like Rivers.
You're doing way better than that guy, Doc.
I appreciate that. I do appreciate that.
We got next, y'all know him as the mayor, aka Yo Rush, in the building. How are you doing?
I'm sleepy, but I'm pulling through for my people. So it's good to be here as always.
We appreciate you hopping on, as he told us before the show started. And if you pay attention to his threads at all, this is past his bedtime. So he is going to give y'all some great content because it's past his bedtime. He loves y'all in the NBA Threads community. And last, we have Kai, the founder of Suns Fanatics, the founder of Game Chasers. How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you guys? I'm so glad I could join.
We are glad you could join. We figured out the internet situation. We're going to start off with this. Part of our docket, part of the rundown today, we want to talk about our favorite Olympic moments. Kai, if you could start us off, what was your favorite moment from the Olympics that happened this year?
There were a lot of really great moments. My favorite games were probably Germany and France. But my favorite moment was everything behind the scenes that Booker was videotaping. He was riding his bike to and from the clubs that night. He was doing shoe drops, where he was just dropping off his new books and people were finding them and they were videotaping it. He had the whole video of the U.S. coming through on the ferry boat. It was outstanding. I loved seeing that. That was my favorite.
Book was out here trying to get an award because that was some really good content he was putting out. I like the throwback he kind of had, made it look kind of like it was a 90s little video and whatnot. Book was enjoying himself for sure. Doug Christie's stunt double. Aaron, talk to us.
So it's funny because I don't watch Olympics basketball as much as all the other basketball, so I didn't see as much of it as I usually would like to. But my favorite moment was the Serbian team coming back for the award ceremony, just bombed. Yep. That was absolutely hilarious because they had been putting on social media how they had basically just rushed after the bronze medal game to go get drunk, and then they had to come back, and it was so obvious that they were sloshed, but just having the best time. And real talk, like the entire point of this is to bring all these countries together and to watch people really enjoying the sport. Obviously, they're representing their countries, but it literally is a goodwill game. And so to watch these guys at a smaller country who had to ride the back of the best player in the world come and really enjoy the moment and being caught up in it, that was just so much fun.
That was definitely one of the moments right there. And like you said, they was there having fun. Yeah. Look, y'all made us come back. We was chilling. We was having a good time. But that was definitely one of the best moments of that.
Y'all seen that picture of Jokic with his shirt off?
Oh, yeah.
Like all sunburnt?
Yeah.
He just was, it was good.
It's funny because so many people can't stand like the elements of his personality because he doesn't want to be an open ambassador for the game, but he's so much fun. Like he's just such a weird dude and just kind of like, I'm gonna be me. I love it. He has kind of this like Charles Barkley element of being so humorous in the way he doesn't really care about how he's portrayed in the media. Obviously, he's not as aggressive or angry as Charles was as a player, but I find like they're just accept me as I am or don't accept me. I don't care. I'm awesome kind of thing to be really fun.
I think somebody got to ask Jokic, does he view himself as a role model? And maybe we'll get to see that Charles Barkley side. Jared, Rush, Chris, if y'all want to hop in, Doc, favorite moment from the Olympics?
I'll go first. I think my favorite moment was the championship game. Just seeing Steph, KD, and LeBron all together. These are first Olympics they all played together, right? So like that to me that was special. It just the Steph Curry takeover was insane. Like that was just amazing. And then I don't know if I ever told y'all, but right after the game went off, my baby was born. So that's why it's even more special. Like literally right after.
I think that beats
like
everybody.
right when the game went off, they were just like, "Oh, it's time. He's coming." And I'm like, "Huh? That soon?" So that was a special moment for me.
I think that beats everybody's moment. But if anybody else want to go,
Let me say one. It was at the end of the Serbia game, that moment where Steph, KD, and Bron like all let it out emotionally at the same time. I mean, that was just like kind of like coalescing every awesome hoops moment those three guys have given us. And sure, maybe there's some more where that came from for their careers, but that felt like such a great way for them to get to flex one more time. Like, hey, we're those dudes.
Yeah. Sorry, Tony. I know you're getting ready to speak. I don't mean to interrupt your quarterbacking. My favorite part is a little different. Obviously, I enjoyed the game, and the serving aspect was cool, and then of course the cathartic moment for Bron, KD, and Steph. But my favorite part was actually just the experience on Threads, right? Like it was everybody's first Olympic experience on the social media app, and Doc can probably appreciate this a little more than everybody else, but trying to figure out which clips you could actually put out that wouldn't get taken down immediately. So it was like some gamesmanship going on. A lot of stuff got struck down, but for some reason the championship game seemed to be, free game. So I know I was putting some stuff out, and just seeing the demand for that kind of content on Threads was really encouraging and really promising just for its growth as a platform. And not realizing how many Serbs or Serbians were actually on Threads, because they were coming from my neck pretty hot because I was all about American pride and I was talking smack, and like my notifications just went crazy. Like there were people with, all kinds of profile pictures just coming for me, and then they would always end with like the little flag. So no shade to my Serbian brothers and sisters who are basketball fans, but it was a good time for sure.
That translate button, my God.
Yeah, they were saying some pretty wild stuff. So, but no, just the experience on Threads. Obviously we all got to experience that together, and it was obviously a great moment for Team USA with the championship win, and the women's national team as well. Them handling business. It was all good for me.
Aaron, looked like you was about to chime in with something real quick.
No, all I was thinking was actually like, don't get the Jokic brothers mad. Like we've already seen that's dangerous territory. So, you play it safe there. But then he just made the point about the women's game, and the women's game needs all its shine because it was such an amazing game. And I think the fact that obviously we had America, France in both games, with France being the hosting team, was just such a cool element for the Olympics, but also the continued elevation of the women's game and how much that meant to that in that moment. The fact that they actually played the better title game, all of those things I thought were really awesome too. So I was just kind of nodding and piggybacking what he was saying.
Chris, we all know on Threads, see us move knows basketball. Your favorite NBA players of this year, 2024. Start us off.
Hold on. I have one more for the Olympic one. I have one more. I need to say that real quick. Yabusele and Gabby Williams getting another shot at getting back into the pros in America. I think that was That was solid. That was really good to see. And then obviously the semifinals and the finals, and then Durant's little comeback that he had that first half where he didn't miss and he was just going crazy. That was good too. But you said top 5 players this season. I've been watching. Man, it's a couple of them. Let's see. I got Jalen Green, of course. Got SGA, Jalen Suggs, Darius Garland, and Tyler Hero. I think all those guys have been hooping. As you see, I'm pretty guard heavy. Love the guards, but love the big guys that could hoop too. But the guards, you can't go wrong with the guards. So I think all these guys have been playing phenomenal this year. A lot of them are on winning teams. They're making the best of their situations, and they're going through with it, man. So yeah, those are my guys right there so far.
Hey, it's not wrong with that list being that's the premium position right now in the league. Shout out to all those that have a vote, but I am not envious of anybody that got to choose these first team, second teams, all defensive teams this year. It's a crazy set of options, but the balance a little bit out. I know my man Jared probably gonna have a couple bigs on his list. Jared, who you been rocked in with this season so far? Even if you want to go to last season.
You know, I'm on board with the Cavs right now, how good they've been. So I'm on board with Donovan Mitchell right now. Of course, I got to throw Brunson in there. He dropped 55 yesterday. I was at that game. It was literally insane just to see it in person. I've been starting to pay more attention to Jalen Johnson in Atlanta. He's really hooping right now. Of course, we got to pay attention to Wemby. And I think my last one would be, I want to say Ant-Man, because before the season started, he was my MVP pick. And Minnesota's struggling right now, so I'm keeping an eye on them still. And I don't know what they're going to do over there, but it's not looking good.
Nah, that's a solid list right there. Of course, you mentioned Wemby. Of course, you mentioning. I was surprised. I was just gonna throw a little bit of cat love in there, but I understand. Jalen Brunson did just drop 55, so right now he the hot Nick. But y'all been tweaking lately.
My verdict is still out on Cat. He's playing good, but it's still out on him. I have to see how he performs in the playoffs.
Hey, for that Knicks roster, that's only gonna matter for y'all at this point. What y'all doing in the playoffs? Honestly, like. 55 was nice. The 40, Bridges having his game, OG having his game. Great. Postseason is what it's gonna matter for y'all. Doug Christie stunt double. I know you had direct correlation watching the Kings. I don't know if De'Aaron Fox ends up on your list or Sabonis, being that you see him in practice every day and whatnot.
So no Kings to watch right now, because anybody who's watching this year knows it has not been a fun journey so far. Hopefully they'll correct that. But I do got some bigs. So Wemby, for what he's doing right now, because watching this dude's growth in real time is insane. It's like watching Michelangelo put together a masterpiece, and I get to see it from the very start. Jokic, kind of the same thing. Like, this dude, it's insane that for 5 straight years, we're like, well, this guy can't get any better. This guy can't get any better. And somehow he just continues to level up. Like, I don't know where the ceiling is for this guy anymore. And that is an incredible thought, considering what he's doing statistically is something we've never seen. Jay Will, everybody I think knows by now my love for Jalen Williams, at Oklahoma City. He's another one of those dudes, a two-way player that affects the game so much in every aspect. And he's awesome because if he needs to be their primary guy when Shea's on the bench, he can do it. If he needs to be their secondary guy, he's just got his hands involved in everything, and we're seeing him continue to grow. Alperen Şengün, always loved the baby body big. That dude just so skilled, and he's actually now playing defense, and he's playing with a nasty streak that's been fun to see. And then Derek White, I always love, because that's just a player who, like, when I'm just focusing on a dude off ball, impacting the game in the best ways, he just doesn't make bad decisions. He's always in the right place. He's always making the connector pass. He always knows how to understand spacing to get the other guy open. So he's like a dude, if you're watching like the third camera angle that they have on like League Pass, you could just sit there and watch him. You don't even see the rim the whole time and be entertained by like just the intelligence, how he plays.
That's a great point. I know everybody on the screen would love to have a Derek Wright on their squad. Derek Wright, Drew Holiday, vital pieces. Never mind. I guess Rush has a different opinion.
No Celtics love. No Celtics love here. I'm sorry. I apologize.
You mentioned Wemby. I just want to shout out Wemby. I think it was really, really dope, especially with the conversation of who's going to be the face of the league. We keep having that conversation because we all know we're going to miss KD, Bron, Steph. We're going to miss all three of them. But going to go play chess, things like that, I think ingratiates himself with the fans, with the people that, are having these conversations. I don't see why Wemby can't be in that conversation for one of the faces of the league going forward. Doc.
Anecdotally, the way that content flies when you talk about Wemby on threads should just let you know that that's the angle that they need to lean into.
100%. I mean, even when you look at the stats from last season, most viewed videos, I think Wemby's, what was that? Was it? I think it was the Celtics where he caught the pass on a fast break, had it hanging in the air.
Derek White.
Yes, on Derek White. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That was the most viewed video last year out of everything that happened in the season last season. That was the number one viewed video, which shows you, like you said, there is something there. Will the league do that? I don't know. I think they should give us all a call and have a meeting just like this to help them out with their marketing and what they should do next. Because, we kind of tapped in being that we on threads, and somebody that's obviously tapped in is none other than the mayor. Who you been locked in on this season?
Yeah, I forgot to do my homework, so I'm trying to I'm trying to think on the fly. I'm glad you didn't call on me first. So I know I just said no Celtics love, but I really love what Peyton Pritchard's been doing this season, kind of building on last season. When you talk about sixth, seventh man, the way he comes in and there's really no drop off when Drew and Derek go to the bench, and somehow he's just specialized the last 2-3 second shot of every quarter. Like, you just know, like, teams are scheming their defense to stop him from getting the ball at the end of quarter situations. So I think when you look at the fact that they brought everybody back, there really hasn't been that championship hangover. They've hit a bit of a skid here as of late, but I think everything that he's been doing has really just been phenomenal. And you talk about a guy who was, talking about playing time a couple years ago, wanting an opportunity for a bigger role, maybe on a different team, re-signs with Boston, and now he's a champion, and he's just continuing to really shine in that system with Tatum and Brown and Porzingis. Like, to be able to do that, I mean, I think is pretty special. Stephon Castle, I'm really, really high on him. Want to show the rookie class some love. He gets to learn from Chris Paul, playing with Wemby, playing with Pop, who doesn't really play rookies a lot and can be kind of tough on them. So he's shown some things on both sides of the ball. He's got to get better with his shooting, but I think that'll come with time. He's shown the confidence to take shots, which I think is important. A lot of times guys, if they don't do something well, a lot of times they can shy away from it, but the only way you get better is reps and game time reps. So I really love what he's been able to do. Jared McCain, unfortunately he's hurt, but man, that run he went on a couple of weeks ago, 20-point games, plenty of opportunity with people getting hurt, I think is really, giving Philly some tough decisions. If they continue, they've been playing well lately, but if the season continues to slide, maybe we're talking about a future where the focus of the team is Jared and Tyrese in the backcourt. That's 3, right? My math is a little fuzzy late at night.
Yeah, that's 3.
I'm gonna be a bit of a homer. I like Dalton Connect, for the Lakers. He's fallen out of the rotation, or at least the starting lineup, excuse me. But I just really love his confidence, his ability to stroke. He's a sniper. And I really feel like, he's kind of hit a bit of a mid-season lull, but with Bron coming back, him still continuing to get reps, I think he's going to play a really big role for the Lakers to close out the season. I don't know where they'll end up. We're in 5th place right now. Hopefully we don't go much lower. I want to stay out of that play-in, but no, I really love what Dalton's been doing. Wemby, I think, is just on everybody's list. He's just continuing to sort of transition into what everybody thought he would be, putting up really silly numbers and not a whole lot of minutes either, which I think is also really impressive. He just affects the game in so many different ways, especially on the defensive side of the ball. And I think he's going to lead the league in blocks for like the next 12 years. Like, we're just talking about who's going to come in second place at that point. And then John Morant. I don't know why I got really excited when I said his name, but Tone, you, me, and Jared, I think we did a preseason pod. I'm pretty sure I mentioned him as someone to watch coming back. You know, a lot of people have an opinion on him and some of the things that he's been through, but I just felt like he was going to come into this season to prove a lot of people wrong while staying out of the headlines, and I think he's done both. And you look at the Grizzlies, I think they're 3 in the West, two or three in the West, just kind of quietly. Everybody's talking about Houston, rightfully so. Obviously, OKC is box office, but Memphis is right there, and they've got a lot of continuity, especially with their starting group. So I'm really happy with the way the Jazz come back and started to play this year.
To your point too, with the Wemby aspect, I know we're giving a lot of love to Wemby, which rightfully so. If y'all watch the game, rightfully so. I think Wemby's going to have the similar effect of like Steph in regards of blocks. He probably going to have that record and is going to put it so far out. We're going to be having the same, like, we don't see anybody foreseeably beating Steph's record. We're not going to see foreseeably anybody beating whatever records Wemby gets. And I think it's safe to say he'll have multiple records by the time he's done, knock on wood, healthy wise, and with how they're setting it up so far where they're playing, it's like, we don't need you to play 45 minutes.
Right.
The minutes that he's getting, though, I don't think he had the 38-minute game and it was 9 blocks. Like, the impact he has on the court, superb.
Can I cheat? Can I give you one more? I can give you one more, right? Yeah,
ahead,
I got the title. I don't lean into it often, but I'm gonna pull the card this time. Dyson Daniels. And I'm pretty sure he's on somebody's list. And I apologize if I'm stealing thunder, but we got to give him props for everything he's doing defensively. He was kind of buried in the rotation in New Orleans, and with all the injuries they had, he still couldn't really get on the floor. But I mean, he's been playing lights out. He's a defensive menace with all the steals and blocks. So I really, mentioning Derek White, I really see a lot of that Derek White archetype in Dyson Daniels, maybe with a little bit more offensive potential. Maybe potentially, which is what potential is. I don't know why I just said it twice, but I really think Dyson Daniels is really, really broken out this year, and I think he's got a pretty high ceiling as well. So that's it. That's my 6 people.
Go ahead, Jared.
Hey, I didn't realize Dyson Daniels was 6'8" until the season started.
Yeah, he's way bigger than people think he is.
Yeah, I thought he was like 6'2" or 6'3". When I looked it up, like on Basketball Reference, I was like, huh? 6'8"? Since when?
Yeah.
But then his brother is coming in the league in a few years, right?
Dash. Yep.
Mm-hmm. So, oh man.
See, you get that. You don't get that. You don't get that anywhere else. You don't get this type of content. They're locked in. This is what I'm talking about. Is NBA threads, but they're locked in on basketball. They know about Dash coming in. I ain't know about no Dash coming in. Only Dash I knew was from The Incredibles. But shout out to Doug Christie, stunt double, doing the homework. Doc, talk to me. Who you been locked in with this season?
Just one little more Dyson Daniels anecdote. I was having a night where I was between 2 games that I was preferring to watch, and this was before the Hawks had become like appointment league pass viewing. And Dyson Daniels had damn near 4 deflections in 2 minutes. And when you look at the hustle stats on the league website, he is ahead by a country mile in deflections, and it shows visually if you spend any time watching him. So, like, he is definitely worth the mention. One guy who I've had a soft spot in my heart for a long time is Josh Hart. That was not an intentional pun. But dude was made in a lab for Tom Thibodeau. Like, if Leon Rose, my goodness, like the Knicks fans were hating on me the other day because I said something about Isaiah Hartenstein and didn't know something about him getting the contract offer that he could have gotten from the Thunder. But my goodness, the Knicks have been nailing roster construction for like 3 years. And Josh Hart, I mean, those 2 offensive rebounds at the end of the Christmas game, like that is quintessential Josh Hart. And we've seen times where he spent that little bit of time on the Blazers and he can tick up his offensive production, but he's not someone who's beneath making hustle work a skill. And he's remarkably versatile. He rebounds, he assists. So he's one of my guys. I would have also said Wemby, Steph, and Joker. People have been trying, and KD, I think I should say too. People have been trying to dig the grave for KD and Steph and Bron for like half a decade. They're still top 15 players in the NBA. Oh,
I want to piggyback that just for a quick second, because it was one of the threads that I got a bunch of traction on recently was, a lot of the media lately has been, Tone, you touched on it, talking about the next superstars, where are we going with this, blah, blah, blah. And one of the narratives that's been really tiresome is, well, look, the league is still forcing KD and LeBron and Steph down our throats. And it's like, if that's forcing that level of quality of basketball that we got to see on Christmas Day, I'll take it. Like, that is, we are still seeing these dudes play at such an amazing level. I'm one of those people that is of the opinion that the greatest players ever get to go out on their on their terms anyways. But in this situation, nothing's being forced for us. That Warriors-Lakers game was freaking awesome. And those 2 guys came up huge in huge moments. And it's just silly that we're sitting there like, as long as they're playing like this, even when they're diminished versions of themselves, we're going to enjoy it. But we haven't even gotten enough to the point of that conversation to keep forcing that into the narrative.
I do want to say too, like, I tracked this down because I was like having an allergy issue at Christmas, and I'm looking up all these games that Steph and LeBron have played against each other, and they did 21 games in their career where they've both combined for 60 points together as opponents. It's crazy. And the amount of them that have occurred post like championship rivals run too, like these men are still those dudes. So I don't want to overcomplicate it like with the names that I'm throwing out there. The other one is Isaiah Hartenstein. I think the Thunder have lost 1 game with him so far. It's incredible. Like,
don't remind me. Don't remind me.
My bad. So yeah, that would pretty well cap it off for me.
Poor Knicks fans, 20 and like 10 or whatever, third place in the East. Y'all are really suffering. I don't want to hear it.
There was a dude who put like a knife emoji in my replies when I posted about iHeart, and they came for my ass. They were on me for a whole day.
Hey, to your point, you and Aaron, like, we haven't seen that diminished version of them yet. That's the part that people are forgetting. We haven't even seen the diminished version of KD, Bron, Steph, and we don't know when we're going to see it. Honestly speaking,
even where they have diminished, because they're such amazing players and they're so smart, they've compensated in ways that have made up for that. And obviously we've all seen it, so we don't need to talk about it too much, but they are just such high level thinkers that they will still be impactful players. Like LeBron could be out there at 46, still dropping dimes. He's not going to be getting rebounds and dunking on people, but that's really a cool part of it too, is the evolution of it. So
yeah, I think that
we got. Hold on, we got.
Go ahead, Jared. Go ahead.
We got to throw James Harden in that conversation too, because how he's playing this season, he's playing really good, and he's also, on the back end of his career, and he broke. Well, he's second in 3-pointers now, made all time. Mm-hmm. So we gotta give him some love too. Same draft class as Steph, and James Harden. He's been very vocal about, his time is coming to an end soon, and how he somewhat feels underappreciated for what he's done to the game. And to me, he's done a lot for the game. He's along with Steph, he's changed how basketball is looked at.
Rush, what you had, Mayor?
No, I was just gonna sort of stand on Aaron's shoulders. Like, the NBA, I don't know what it is about the NBA. Like, compared to all the other major league sports, it just thrives on drama. And a lot of that is creating unnecessary talking points. And the whole face of the league is like a conversation where people are searching for a solution for a problem that doesn't exist yet. Like, it's not necessary. KD is like, what, 36, 37? Like he could very well play at a high level until he's 40, 41. Same with Steph. You see what LeBron is doing. So it's like I get it. Like people are worried about, oh, who's going to be like on all these promos and stuff, but it's unnecessary because it's not a problem that exists yet. And what we've seen over the course of history is that tends to work itself out. Like someone's going to rise to the level. Someone's maybe who's already here, maybe not, is going to be, the face. And even if it's not a singular person, that's not a bad thing for an international sport, with players, great players coming from all over the world to play, in a league of 400. It's not the worst thing in the world to have 5 guys who could at any given point be your face of the league. So y'all know how I am, man. Like with a lot of this stuff, it's kind of necessary. I get it. It brings us together. Like we get to exchange ideas and points, but I don't really think that that's one that we really need to be, like, not us, but like, I don't think it's something that a lot of people should be spending a lot of time staying up late, losing sleep over, because they get to work itself out.
Like what if Larry, Magic, and Isaiah all played until they were 40? I wonder what the narrative would have been at that point in time. Of course, Mike would have been kicking all their asses, but I'm a Mike Homer forever. But it seems like there is a desire to construct negative narratives about the NBA in a way that isn't commensurate with the other professional sports products that we see. Anyhow.
No, I completely agree. It's very different. I'm gonna have CL Smooth hop in, and then we're gonna have Kai give us her players that she's been locked in with. I'm pretty sure at least one player is going to be a Suns player, because y'all already know Suns fanatics. If y'all need to know anything regarding the Phoenix Suns, if y'all trying to pull up and go catch a game, if y'all want to go golf, y'all want a tea time, that's the person to hit. We'll have everybody's threads in the description. Make sure y'all hit Kai, but Chris, go ahead.
Yeah, just lastly, like kind of what we were saying before we get to Kai's point. I said that earlier on threads, like why is the expectation at this point in the career for LeBron and Steph and KD to win at such a high level when they've done it for the last 15 plus years? Like, why do they always have to be the ones who are like, you need to have a top roster? Like, bro, no, they don't. They've done enough. They've given us plenty memories, plenty championships over the years. Just enjoy that. Let them be 500. You know what I mean? They're still going to be all-stars. Let them sit out a few games. Like the expectation doesn't need to be so high on them. At least I feel like, you know what I mean? Like they've done it already for longer than what most people have done at the highest level. And their careers all three are always going to be linked against, each other. Like, Steph won his first one against LeBron. LeBron won his first one against KD. KD won his first one against LeBron. So then it's all connected, right? And that's been going on since 2012. And here we are about to go into 2025, and people are still like, oh, they need to be a top seeded team and get to the finals for their legacy. It's like, bro, no, they don't. Like they've already done enough, which almost speaks to how good they are, because they're leading people to believe that they can still do it at such a high level on a nightly basis. But if they have an off game, an off week, like it's not the end of the world. So that's all, like Forrest Gump said, that's all I want to say about that.
Nah, that's facts, especially like Rush mentioned. We don't see this anywhere else really in any other major sports. We don't have these conversations in MLB. We don't have these conversations in NFL. We don't have this going on with league soccer, and this doesn't happen. But the NBA, as Aaron suggested and shown, it's a drug for the drama year round. We got to come up with some type of narratives, and we're talking about Steph, Bron, KD. Somebody on the screen gets to see KD very often in person. Kai, talk to us. Who is on your list?
How'd you guess? Katie is definitely on my list this year. And I say this year because when they traded Mikal for him, I literally cried like a baby. I did not care if Katie was coming here. I wanted no part of it. Now I'm okay. All's good. Katie's showing out. Last year, he was playing MVP. Beginning of this year, same thing. I don't like how people are continually going off about, oh, they're this many years in, or, it's time for them to pass the torch or whatever. They play consistent, great ball all the time, and they deserve to still be here. And I'm just really lucky that I get to go see him in person as often as I do, because the one day that he decides to quit, at least I could say, man, I saw all of that. One of my other Suns players, which I think you guys might be a little surprised about, is Ryan Dunn. He's a new rookie for us, but he is not playing like a rookie. He is balling out. He is coming in fearless. He has got blocks galore. He is playing defense. He's making shots. He's been starting, which a lot of the, rookies aren't coming in starting as many games as he did. So I give him a ton of credit. I only hope to see him grow, and I hope the Suns keep him and continue to mentor and help him grow, because I see good things for him. My other couple players are Ent. He has always been one of my favorites since he's been on the scene. His charisma, him being unapologetically himself in the after game interviews, like he always makes you laugh, saying stuff he's not supposed to be saying on TV. But his game is just fantastic to watch, and I absolutely love it. Brunson is another one of my faves. He's been one of my faves since the Mavs days. I'm really glad, honestly, that he moved to New York, because he wouldn't have gotten the same chance as if he would have stayed. And I really believe he has propelled this team into, I guess, not only a winning team, but a contender in my eyes. Him, Mikal Bridges, all the boys, that played in college together and are now balling out. They're my favorites in the East right now. And I really see a lot of good things coming out of them going forward. My last player is Ja Morant. I kind of was back and forth on this one, just because I feel like he's kind of a favorite already. But to me, with him missing so many games last year and then coming back this year, and just his style of play, he's so fun to watch. He's poetry in motion, like every time. And I just really, really am happy that he is pushing the Grizzlies to where they're at right now. So that's my 5.
That's a solid list right there. That's superb list. You mentioned Ja. Rush mentioned Ja, but like you said, poetry in motion. That Ja is one of those players where you could put some R&B in the background doing his highlights, and it works beautifully, absolutely beautifully. Put some Sade. I know my man right there, Jared, loves some Sade right there. Put some Sade in the background, and you good to go right there. Now we mentioned all of our love for the players that we were watching, the game that we love. Shout out to Steve. He wasn't able to make it. SBW wasn't able to hop on, but he did suggest a topic, and I want to ask y'all, and we don't have to force it if you don't have anything that you want to change, but is there anything that you would actually change about the NBA? Any rule changes? I don't know if y'all have somehow a fix to fix the All-Star game, anything like that. If you have any changes, let us know. Let the listeners, let our viewers know.
I'll go.
Go
So
ahead.
we got something. Okay, I'll give you a quick one for me. So everybody knows it's Doug Christie stunt double. Obviously, I'm defensive oriented first. But also as a dude whose game was not based on athleticism, one of the key components for keeping me on the floor was the ability to take a charge. And there's a lot of talk about the charge rule and the issues with players undercutting players in the air, which we all know is a problem. I am a big proponent of maintaining the charge, because I think getting it out of the game incentivizes players to really recklessly drive even more so. But I think the best mechanism for kind of finding a common ground is extend the charge circle out a little bit more, So fewer players even have the ability to get launched in the air before somebody slides underneath them. Because if you just take it out a couple feet, that really eliminates most of the guys that aren't just absolute elite athletes from just kind of blindly taking off as often, and players sliding underneath, because now there's no longer the benefit of you trying to get there in the moment if if the semicircles push further out, because you're going to be in a blocking position no matter what. And so I think that's a really good way to try to find a blend of still keeping the charge in there, but at least mitigating. You're never going to be able to eliminate it, but at least mitigating some of these fouls that we've seen that have taken players out in serious injuries. And just, none of us like seeing those collisions. They're kind of those, oh my God, catch my breath moments when we watch somebody like Ja, who's had injuries in these moments, get undercut from a player. So that's kind of my first one. I got a couple more, but I'll let other people go.
You got me thinking about one thing that's a silly, quick one, is if you dunk on someone, you got to be able to talk your talk. It's been enough of this. My gosh. Like, if my guy gets dunked on, I'm not mad if dude is talking crazy at him. It's time to let these guys thrive. So that's like my silly, goofy one that just, it's literally no fun league type of stuff whenever they're throwing the flag on that. And that's just got to go.
I would like to add, if you get dunked on, mandated, you got to take the ball out. that's all. You just got to take it out, man. Let everybody know, like, damn, they got me. Pick the ball up, step out of bounds, take it out, throw it back.
Please.
In. Yeah, you got to throw it in. That normally happens anyway, but we got to mandate it. Like, no, refs got to stop. Nope. Hey, 25, you got dunked on. Pick it up, throw it in. I actually, if I can be somewhat serious, I would actually like to see, because I think I saw somebody post this unsubstantiated, but I think I saw it and it got me thinking. I honestly wouldn't mind seeing the hand check come back, to be honest. It happens anyway. Like, if you play pickup, you get a hand check regardless. But I wouldn't mind seeing it in the league. I think the athletes today could still, like the stars, could still be stars. But I think it could present a little bit more resistance defensively in the league, where the offenses are so prolific now. There's been some talk about the games being too high scoring. I think bringing the hand check back we'd still get brilliant offensive performances night in and night out, but I think it would allow defenses to sort of, lock in a little bit more and, maybe get people a little bit more excited about the defensive side of the ball.
I agree with you. That was going to be one of mine as well. I think we should either back the 3-point lineup or get rid of the side three altogether. And the only reason I say that is because it has become such a major part of every basketball game to hit those side threes. And then you get those guys who that's all they do. Like that's their specialty. That's all they do. And it becomes boring. It's obviously taking over the NBA, the 3-point shot. And I think we need to do something to adjust that, bring back the defense, and get rid of the side three. Those are mine.
I'm going to piggyback that real quick with a wild one that I've actually been pushing for about 10 years now. That's never going to happen because the owners won't allow it. But why can't we just make the 3-point equidistant and expand the floor a little bit?
Yes.
What is wrong with that? Why can't we open up the game a little bit more? It gives you more spacing. I don't think that it's going to be the same nightmare that people think it'll be for the defenses to adjust, because everybody has to. And then it takes away the benefit of that corner three and makes everything more sensible. I know that they're not going to change the geometry of a court that's been the same since the 40s, but I think that that's a good idea, but it's mine. So there's why I think it.
But at every level of hoop, the court gets longer, right? Why? I mean, again, I agree with you. I don't think it's ever going to happen, but I think about this way too often about what it would do to the geometry of the game. And you talk about like getting rid of some of the more dime a dozen 3-point shooters, and it would spread out the floor more too.
PJ Tucker would be upset, but juicing up some of the action from a spacing standpoint, I think would be positive for the game. I think this is one of those things, like the way that they've used the G League as kind of an incubator for some of their kind of crazier rules. I think this is a really good opportunity for them to maybe try it out at that level where they're not worried about the sales of the baseline, or excuse me, the courtside seats the same way that you are at the NBA level. See how it works. See if there's some functionality to it. See if it's interesting. Because the getting rid of the corner three, then because I agree with you, Kai. I think that you have to figure out something for this, but I don't know how you get rid of the corner three without it being kind of an awkward kind of geometry problem too initially. Yeah.
Just widen the arc.
What?
Just widen the arc so that the bottom comes down right at the corner of the baseline there.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. So it's just out of bounds if on those corners and it just comes to that point. Yeah.
Yeah, no, those are good ones. I don't know how I'm gonna top that. I guess if I had to, mine's a little bit different. Like I would say they should interview the refs at the end of the game in a presser and ask them what they saw, why did they do this, what made them call that, kind of hold them accountable a little bit. I think that would be good. I think that would change a lot, knowing that they have to talk about it after a game in front of everyone. I think that actually would be pretty good to keep the game going a little bit better. And then lastly, just a funny one. Since there's no video footage of Wilt's 100-point game, Kobe's 81-point game is the most points that we've ever seen scored. So if we can as soon as we get the footage, I'm gonna put that in the NBA rule. If we can get the footage from it, then we gonna roll with it. Until then, it didn't happen.
That sounds like an LA fan if I ever heard one. Get out of here.
Squabble up. Hey,
man,
Rush.
Wilt was a Laker too, all right? This Wilt erasure is diabolical.
He was, but no, it's all jokes though.
No,
Shout out to Wilt.
So actually, one other thing that I think gets bemoaned more than anything else in like hoops, like visual experience, is the way too long reviews at the end. Where is the tennis situation where the tennis player is like, hey, I challenge that. And 15 seconds later, they've got like the tracking software that, oh, it was out on this person or it wasn't on this person. It's more complicated because you've got different people who the ball is going off of. But it seems like we've got enough smart people that we could figure out a technology that could resolve these super fast.
What I don't understand is why can't we just treat it like the NFL and just send it to Secaucus or whatever, have them decide it real quick, eliminate the refs that are on the floor from even having to make the decision, and speed the whole damn thing up. Have 10 people in a room, they watch it real quick, they send it back, and they're like, it's over. I think some of the pomp and pageantry of it has gotten to be a little bit too much. Like it's cute watching, was it Tony Brothers or whoever who likes to be really funny with it. Like that is entertaining, but at some point that it detracts from the game. And like you said, it just takes too much time. There's got to be a more succinct way to do these challenges that don't end up, elongating the game by like 20 minutes. And I do have a challenge one once we come back around.
Hey, we got to cut Aaron off at some point, right? Like that's too many. Was that 2 or 3? Come on, man. Goodness, I gotta go to bed. No, I'm playing.
Says the guy who had seven players for 5. I'm gonna shut up though.
No, I had a point. No, I think certain. I don't know if it's certain situations, if it's certain like time situations, it does go to Secaucus, because I remember the much talked about LeBron Toe play in Minnesota last year. When LeBron got upset, Tony Brothers was like, "Hey, don't look at me," because Secaucus actually made the call. And I think maybe how much time needs to go back on the clock or a shot clock is done by the local referees. But I think that speaks even more to your point, though. Like standardize it, so either all of it's being done by Secaucus, or either all of it's being done by the referees in the arena, and maybe get some help from Secaucus if they have like another angle or something. But yeah, I think it can get a little long. Especially like in late game situations where people are, you're talking about momentum, which does, play a role in sports. It can really get stifled if the replays take too long. But I mean, I guess it really just comes down to, do you want to get it right or do you want to get back to the game? And I think that's just a balance that you kind of have to weigh. Some people have even suggested just getting rid of replay altogether again, right? Like just, it is what it is. Call it in the moment, and then live or die with it. I'm not on that side. I think If we have the technology, we should use it to try to get the call right. But I definitely agree we need to standardize it so that a decision's made 30, 90 seconds tops, because it can get very long.
If you watch WNBA games, the flow near the end of the game is massively more entertaining than an NBA game. And this isn't to say like, hey, let's just adopt all the policies from over there, but you have to look at it at a certain point and say, hey, like there's something good going on here. I'm actually getting to experience hoops in a flow, as opposed to like, remember that Suns Clippers game that was like 30 minutes for the last like 45 seconds. It was like a playoff game. Anyhow, I'm gonna let someone else finish.
Hey, to close off the rule changes. I know you said you had one more, so you close us off. The Christie stunt double.
I'm gonna go real quick because I know I've been rambling. This is a more funny one, but y'all know how I feel about challenges. If you have a challenge in the first 5 minutes of the game that's not successful, you lose all your damn challenges. I'm so tired of these dumbass first quarter challenges. Yet you forfeit your right to challenge again if you make a dumbass challenge that early because you're caught up in the moment. Okay.
I had a feeling that was going to
I have
come
one
up.
though.
Go ahead, Jared.
I have one. So I think we should get rid of the traditional 1 through 8 playoff rule and make it 1 through 16. I think that will eliminate a lot of the kind of the bottom feeders in the playoffs. The team that's like kind of under 500, and then we have to sit through a series of best of 4 and it'd be a sweep. And I feel like that would make it more exciting because you're going to get a team that's probably like 50 and 32 being the 8th seed more often, and then they'll play against the top team in the league, and we may get a 7-game series. But that might players gonna find a way to kind of like load manage that in a way because might be more games added to their season. So not sure if they really do that, but it's something to think about.
To your point, that if we had that starting off today, right, that would be a Cavs Minnesota matchup. Cavs versus T-Wolves to start off. Spurs are actually 1 game out from being a 16 seed if they were to make it. So even a Cavs Spurs series to start off as the first round would be absolutely bananas. We're going to end off with this, as we said at the beginning of the episode, right? Our favorite moments from NBA threads. We're not doing a list. We're not going to call out anybody's names. We're not going to have a starting 5 of NBA threads and people. We've all made sure that's not going to happen. We want nobody to feel left out, nobody feel any type of way. So anybody that want to start, favorite NBA threads moment of 2024?
I'll go. I think just like seeing all the meetups has been cool, like in all the different areas. I got a chance to do that with Rush and Jess and Sterling and Rod. So that was real cool. Even though it was last minute, it was cool just to see all the pictures and everybody kind of linking up and coming together. So it was real cool. I see when Kai does it, just everyone kind of gets to kind of come together, so that's been solid. And then also all the conversation when it's a Lakers Warriors game, those are always funny because I think they have the 2 strongest fan bases on threads. So those are always, someone's always living or dying for a game in October. Like, they think their season's over or they think they're about to win the championship. So it's just funny seeing all that stuff, but mainly the meetups. I think that's solid. I like seeing that. It's real cool. Looking forward to more for sure.
Nah, that's definitely been dope to see that. That lets people know that whoever's watching this and listening to this that is new to NBA threads is really actually more than basketball. That's the thing that's really dope. And seeing the vulnerability from the NBA threads community of stuff outside of basketball, which is why I think it makes it so special. We talk more than basketball. We talk life. So somebody else could go, but definitely the meetups and just seeing that, like, people that you met over the internet talking about this little orange basketball, you actually at people's houses, you actually out eating, cross country, same city, people that you don't even, oh wow, you live in the same state. Super dope.
So I want to share just from the experience of opening a business while being on NBA threads. And the only name that's going to get called out here is because Kai literally bought a drink for a random customer at my shop when we opened our opening day. And then there was another person who literally bought a gift card remotely so I could give people free drinks at the counter and just say, hey, and I literally told them someone from NBA Threads gave you this coffee at my coffee shop. Yeah, I've never experienced such fraternity around the game of basketball since college. I was Reggie Evans with even less offense in my college bag. 6'1" power forward, respect. But yeah, I feel a level of energy behind me when people are materially and just relationally supporting that I've never experienced anywhere else on the internet.
I definitely am going to second that. On my cheat sheet, I did write NBA meetups. As you all have seen, I've probably met about 20 different people in the last year, all because of Threads. I have been extremely open and vulnerable personally, and I've been there for other people who have as well, starting a business, buying a house. We got other people having children or, getting promotions, and we're all there cheering each other on. And that is something I have never found anywhere else. So that's one thing I absolutely love about NBA Threads. And it's not just Threads, it's NBA Threads. And it is our community that we built from scratch. And I'm proud of that. I'm proud to say that we all have been a part of that.
Facts.
I was going to say meetups, and then I was going to say support. So one, I just kind of want to piggyback that because I've been fortunate to meet a few of the people here, and I will definitely meet everybody here probably within the next year if I have my own way. And the supportive thing, every single person here has creative endeavors that every single other person here has shown substantive support to, and that really means a lot. And I think everybody here has been trying to do some stuff in kind of the sports space. And for me, I have found that it's actually really hard to find people that want to be supportive. There's a lot of kind of competitive energy that too often takes over instead of a rising tide lifts all boats kind of mentality. Instead, people are kind of giving you the stiff arm and pushing you off or smiling in your face and doing something else behind. And it doesn't feel that way here. And I love that. And that means a lot. And to be a part of it and hopefully be an active participant in that, I'm very thankful for. It means a lot to me to have the people that I genuinely consider friends and stuff from this little, like you said, just kind of this misanthropic community that started a little over a year and a half ago was such a beautiful thing. Because that's already been said, then the other thing has just been the playoffs, the in-season tournament, the energy around the bigger moments in Thread is so vibrant and so difficult to extract myself from that sometimes I have to throw my phone across the room because I need to be in the moment of the game, but I'm so busy trying to be like, oh man, what Doc posts, what Rush say, what Tone say, what's Jared say, what's Chris say? It's literally like that. And then I'm trying to and everybody's so damn creative. It also pushes me to want to try to have a creative energy. And that's something real special. And I love that. And I appreciate all of y'all for that.
That's a fact right there. I've been there with you. Like, hey, y'all, I gotta put my phone down. But it'd be like, nah, wait. Oh, Doc just posted the clip. Oh shoot, there you go. I said it. What was it? It was day after Christmas. NBA Threads is my ESPN. Like back in the day when it wasn't just debates, but they would give all the highlights. If I, for whatever reason, is locked in with the family and I ain't catching anything, I'm going to NBA Threads to catch me up on everything. This what happened. Okay, this. Oh, that was a crazy NBA Threads. That's where it's at for sure. I think we got Rush, Jared left, and Doc, I believe.
Well, I feel like I said something, but the one other thing I want to mention is just I'm surrounded by people who I'm almost certain all of you were here before me in the community. And the lack of gatekeeping is just remarkable. And I know David hates it when we get effusive with the flowers, but bro, you could have handled this so much differently being the first in this space. And it set the tone for the entire community. So flowers every day, every time. Thank you so much.
Oh, I guess I'm next now. No, I appreciate that very much, and no, I don't want to. I've said it like 100 times, so I don't really want to go back into my story. But I all I really wanted, man, was to find a place where we could do exactly what we're doing now, like a bunch of different people contributing to a healthy, enjoyable, caring basketball space. And it just so happened that I happened to play maybe a bigger role than most people, but it took all of us to make NBA Threads. It wasn't one person. And I'm just great. I'm grateful every day to know that no matter what's going on, like in real life, no matter what my kids are jumping off of or making a mess of, no matter what's going on at work, I can open this app and I'm gonna find something that's gonna make me feel better, or I'm gonna connect with Tone or Chris or Doc, Kai. Jared's gonna be whining about something with the Knicks. Aaron's gonna be going on some diatribe about something. Like I'm gonna get filled, and y'all keep me filled, overflowing actually. So I just really appreciate and y'all, everybody here, and then NBA Threads as a whole. Um, and on that, I would say my I don't know if it's a moment, but the thing I appreciate most about this last year from NBA Threads is just the perseverance of the community, um, and keeping a perspective, right? Like we're not fighting wars and none of that stuff. But I mean, think about all the things that we've had to deal with: a growing platform, bots coming in, people coming in from other platforms, some features that Meta has dropped that has sort of had people feeling a certain way, blue sky, but NBA Threads just kind of shifted to be in two places, right? Like it's an actual functioning community where people care about each other, and that happens whether it's in real life, whether it's on Threads, whether it's on Blue Sky. So I know we weren't going to mention the list thing, but I know one of the things that got called out was like phoniness, and I just maybe an individual is phony, but I know as a collective, as a group, everything I've experienced, all the people I've connected with have been 100% genuine. And I can vouch for that in real life because I've met these people. I can vouch for that in personal text messages and DMs. So I know without a shadow of a doubt, like everybody here is authentic and really cares about the community first. And that's why it's been able to be what it has been and why it'll continue to grow, because everybody's focused on the community and keeping that at the forefront of everything. So as long as we do that, man, sky's the limit. But that's been the thing I've enjoyed watching most, is just how we've sort of handled every little road bump that's come up so far. It gives me confidence to believe that we'll handle all the forthcoming ones just the same.
And to close this out, maybe this will be a prophetic type of thing that we'll see in June, that the Knicks will close out and we holding a trophy. But that's hopeful, wishful thinking. Jared, close us out.
So yeah, piggyback on what everybody was saying, like the amount of support that we all give each other. I feel like that's like the biggest part about NBA Threads. Like everybody else said, the perseverance. Everybody was deciding to go to Blue Sky, but a lot of us stick with Threads and just kind of continue doing what we do. And just the meetups is really good. I unfortunately haven't had the chance to meet up with a lot of people. Only met up with two people. Jesse and the other one will remain unnamed. But I think everything about NBA Threads is just really cool. The community aspect of it, and like all of us been looking for some type of community feel with talking basketball. Twitter's not it. Instagram, whole different thing. And just having all you guys together like this is really fun. It really brings me joy to be a part of all this.
I have something real quick, just from the female end of this. Coming onto Threads and as a woman and being able to talk basketball has been life-changing for me. Like, I have always been a sports nut. I've always paid attention to sports. I've always talked about it. But once you get online, you got those keyboard warriors that are ready to shoot you down in a second because you're a woman. And I got to tell you, NBA Threads has been completely opposite of that. And I want to thank all of you guys for accepting me and, just letting me join in the conversation and actually share my knowledge of basketball, but learn from all of you as well. So I feel that's really important and I appreciate it.
That's really dope and that's really important. And that's really I think it's safe to say those are some of the most ignorant people in the world, to think that because you are a female, that females don't know sports, females don't know basketball, can't talk it. Recently just had that conversation with a podcast I just did recently. I forget the name. Anywho, it's, as you could tell, it's been a long one. Rush is over there laughing. It's been a long one, but you already know NBA Threads is the best team, man. It's December 29th. Y'all will probably see this the 30th. So when you see this, when you listen to this, from NBA Threads to everybody, happy holidays, happy New Year, safe travels when you watch, whenever this happens. I pray for your livers because I know everybody's gonna have some good fun. But NBA Threads, the best team. Peace.
Later.
Peace. Thanks, Tone.